Hello everyone, this is John Corey Jackson and this is another Everyday Living with John video. Thank you for watching the video. First of all, thank you for showing up. You can be watching anything like cat videos or kittens running around the house or something, but thank you for stopping by and watching this video. What I want to talk about today is faith versus trust. And the reason why I decided to do this video was because I really honestly truly didn't know the difference until I started digging into the word and some other definitions and references, and this is what I came up with. And this is pretty much based on Bible verses that I read. Faith versus trust, what's the difference? So this is the Everyday Living with John YouTube channel where I share with you faith-based biblical principles that you can apply to your everyday life. So please consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you for checking in and joining in, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when I make new content. And also, I will leave this blog post down for you below where you can read it as a reference, because I do have some scriptures at the bottom that's going to help you, and that helps me to reinforce what I've read and learned. So I don't want to waste too much time on this video, but one thing about me is that I have a lot of questions. I'm an inquisitive person. I like to learn stuff. So whenever I have a question or something about the Gospels, about God, about Christianity, I tend to go in my mind over and over about it. And sometimes it puts me in a worse state as I already am in before I ask the question. So that's the hard part. As far as my personal life, I have a lot of questions. I feel like questions don't get answered across the pulpit or in my own study, and I'm struggling with what answers could be. So this is actually one of the questions that I was considering, was the difference between faith and trust in God. And there are some interesting things I learned, and the primary of which being is faith is a gift from God and trust is action on our part. Trust requires us to do action, while faith is a gift that God gives us upon when we are saved. I don't know if that's grammatically correct. When we are saved, God gives us the gift of faith. Now that big gift does have to be nurtured, and that nurturing comes through prayer and understanding God's word, seeking God out, having our private times with God, fasting, those kind of things is when our faith grows. But it is a gift, and we don't have to necessarily do anything to earn it. And I go into the blog post right here. It says, when we get saved, we exchange our old Adam for the new Adam. And of course, the old Adam meaning from creation, the Adam that fell and sinned when they ate of the fruit. And we exchange that for Jesus' work on the cross. When it was finished, that means we won the victory as Christians, all Christians. So of course, when we say it's a gift, it's a spiritual gift, and this was faith. And Ephesians 2:8, according to the New International Version, says, "For it is by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not from yourselves." This is not from yourselves. That's the key point. This is not from yourselves. It is a gift of God. So consider that it is a gift, and God gives it to us when we are born again. Now, as far as trust is action. Trust requires us doing something. And like it says in Proverbs 3:15, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not to your own understanding. So, the one thing that I thought about to make this easier on all of us is think of faith in terms of a noun and think of trust in terms of a verb. So faith is a noun, which is a person, place, thing, or object, and it is a noun. It's stationary in a sense. But action, which is trust, requires us to do something. It requires us to take some kind of action, whether it's jumping or running or talking or walking or whatever it can be. action is trust. So trust is the action word. And it is a gift from God. Sorry, faith is a gift from God. Trusting, relying on His character, His word, and His people requires action on our part. So, and I give a quick example here. I do have a car, 2013 Kia Soul. And now when I'm getting in my car, I trust it to crank up. But in order for it to crank up, it requires action on my part, which means I have to turn the ignition for anything to happen. If I just sit in the car, nothing's happening, I'm not going anywhere, I'm not turning the steering wheel, I'm not putting the keys in the ignition for it to crank up or start, I'm not going to go anywhere. I don't care how much faith I have. So they work in conjunction with each other, hand to hand, and we actually need both to be effective in our Christian lives, because we need to give the faith that God gives us, but we also need to be trusting God even when I know the popular phrase, when we can't track Him. We need to trust God and rely on His character, who He is, and His word. So this is from my own personal study. Like I always try to tell you guys, I'm not perfect. I don't know exegesis and all that stuff, but I did try to study this for myself before making this video, so that I can be knowledgeable and bring to you quality knowledge that can hopefully help you in your own personal life. Now, here are some references as far as Bible verses that I was able to find about faith and trust, and I will of course leave the blog post down for you below so that you can check it out on your own time. I just don't want to make the video longer than it already is. But faith is a gift, trust is not. Trust is something we have to work at. We have to trust God and take God at His word, even when it feels like His word is not working for us. So trust means that we have to do things, and we have to take actions that reflect that trust in God. So hopefully this blog post helps you. Hopefully this video helps you. And it helps to elevate your spiritual lives, because knowing that faith is a gift and you don't have to work for it is liberating. Because I think oftentimes in the Christian faith and in Christian circles, we always try to make it seem like we have to work for our salvation, which that's absolutely not true. Now, we do have to work to bear the fruits of salvation, which is love, peace, kindness, forbearance, discipline, all that stuff. But we are given faith by God, and we have to trust God in every facet of our lives in order to bring that fruit about, in order to have effective Christian lives. So let me know what you think down below, what your definition and interpretation of faith is. And thank you so much for checking out this video. I appreciate you, and I do hope this helps you. God bless you, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.